the education system works pretty well for me. Every day I get out of bed, eat breakfast, get dressed, and head to school. There I work on projects and collaborate with my peers. I'm a 13-year-old student in grade 8, and I'm among loads of kids who think that school is pretty fun. Sure, most of us won't admit it, but the time we spend inside the classroom isn't all that bad. Most teachers manage to find new and creative ways to help us understand things like history, culture, science, and math. I'm honored to be here and share my thoughts on rethinking education. As a kid halfway through my public school experience, I hope that you find my perspective interesting. People are always asking me what I want to be when I grow up. To be honest, it gets a little annoying because the real answer is that I just don't know. Some kids fire hockey pucks at garage doors and dream of making the NHL. And some turn cardboard boxes into spaceships and fantasize about becoming astronauts. But I've never been someone who wants one thing in particular. I wish that I had a goal or a plan, but I don't. All I know for sure is that when I grow up, I want to be someone who squeezes as much out of life as possible. I want to be the grandma with endless stories to tell her grandkids of amazing adventures and the life lessons that came along with them. Maybe this is why, in my last year of elementary school, I did everything. The musical, lunch monitoring, the Meet a Wee Club, and as many activities outside of school as I possibly could. Basketball, soccer, field hockey, Girl Guides, and a community children's choir. Through all this, I've learned valuable lessons that would be hard to learn inside a classroom. Playing sports, I've learned cooperation and communication skills. Our basketball team learned the importance of perseverance when we went 4-0 in our end-of-year tournament. And by 4-0, I mean 4 losses and no wins. In Guides, we practice community service, being grateful for what we've been given and using what we've got to help others, whether it be taking part in a beach cleanup or making sandwiches and taking them to Harvest House. As a kindergarten lunch monitor, I learned patience, leadership skills, and even a few naughty words in Mandarin. Let's just say that a couple of kids said some choice words for me when I stopped them from climbing the slide. I've learned confidence singing in a choir, and I can take what I've learned to school presentations and even this TED Talk. All of these experiences are shaping me into a positive, contributing member of my community. But with all of these opportunities, life gets incredibly busy. A free night to spend on homework hardly ever exists. If there's something due the next day, I'm usually awake close to midnight. I think my dad said it best. He says that I'm like a duck swimming around in a pond. Above the water, I look like I'm just effortlessly floating. When teachers look at me, they think, wow, that's one put-together kid. I complete all of my assignments and hand them in on time. Most people just assume that it's easy for me because I keep my cool. They'd never imagine that beneath the water, this duck is paddling like crazy to keep from going under. In elementary school, all my paddling paid off. I did well on my report cards without having to compromise anything outside of school. Still, despite my success, I was barely keeping my head above the water. In my first few weeks of high school, my workload has already started to increase. And I know that now I'll have less and less time to search for whatever passion I might have. I'll need to decide what's more important, participating in my community or achieving in school. So what's my purpose in speaking to you today? What's my ideal worth spreading? I feel pressure. I hate the word pressure. Don't even like saying it, let alone admitting to feeling it. But us kids do feel pressure. Pressure to achieve across the board. Pressure to please everyone, our teachers, our parents, our coaches. And pressure to live up to our own expectations. I can't stand knowing that I didn't put in my best effort after we lost a game and I didn't play well, or after handing in an assignment that I rushed to finish at 11 o'clock the night before. This pressure, combined with that put on students by schools, can be hard to bear. Now that I'm in high school, I'm nervous about what's to come when my grades will really start to matter. I don't want to choose my future yet. I'm only 13. And although it's still 5 years away, I'm worried about university too. I want to get into a good school. Entrance requirements are really high right now. I did a little bit of research, and averages near 90% were required to get into any of the programs. So how can I keep getting good marks and still take part in the things I love? I don't know what the solution is, but I do think that my grade 7 report card was a step in the right direction. Last year, our teachers introduced a pilot report card with no letter grades. We weren't labeled as A, B, or C students. Instead, our teachers gave us written feedback on how well we understood the curriculum. I found that my classmates were less stressed out when we got our report cards back. What I also liked was that it communicated the 5 core competencies: personal organization, communication, critical thinking, emotional literacy, and creative thinking. Finally, regular self-reflection on our progress throughout the term was expected. Sure, no 13-year-old kid is excited about more work and less video games or less time to hang with friends, but I do think that it was worth it in the end. Because, in a sense, I felt like the time I spent participating in extracurricular activities could be justified because the skills I was building outside of school were valued by my report card. My volunteer work in the school and the community was noted. I was praised for having good time management skills and commended for taking risks by exploring new activities. It's a shame that these qualities are not valued in high school report cards, considered more important to universities, because I think that they are the skills that will set me up for success in life. Is it more important to know the difference between a rhombus and a trapezoid, or to learn to be a kind and compassionate citizen? Do we need to memorize the geological timescale, or learn to be tolerant of individual differences? Should we receive letter grades based on what other kids should know, or can we be assessed on our ability to show grit, perseverance, and determination? John Wooden, the legendary coach of the 10-time national champion UCLA Bruins basketball team, and arguably the greatest college basketball coach of all time, would agree with this. He defined success as peace of mind, obtained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable. He was a teacher long before a coach, and he didn't believe in giving letter grades either. Mr. Wooden believed that we should never compare ourselves with others or things that are out of our control. In his pyramid of success, he listed the values of patience, integrity, faith, fight, resourcefulness, and reliability at the top. Are these values included in current forms of assessment? As of now, the answer is no. Moving forward, I hope my future teachers have the freedom to provide learning experiences which make us better citizens. Help us on our path to becoming more than just students. Teach us to be kind, caring people. My grade 7 report card was a start. Also, it's encouraging that most universities are now including personal profiles in entrance applications. My understanding, these profiles give students a chance to showcase their out-of-classroom experiences and can impact who makes it into a program. If there's anything I want educators to take away from my talk, it's that kids are really busy. Most of the time, we're swamped. We don't have time to meet the crazy expectations that are sometimes set for us. Look, I'm not here just to poke holes in our school system. I've already said that it works pretty well for the majority of us students. Maybe it's not education that needs to be rethought, it's assessment. Don't spend all of your time rethinking how to teach us. Set aside time to find the best way to tell us how we're doing. Don't pit us against others or give us A's, B's, or C's. I want high schools and universities to accept new ways of communicating student achievement, to recognize just how busy we are. A system that values the whole student, that duck inside all of us kids and teenagers who just want to explore without being drowned by unrealistic expectations. One that values us as real people who are working hard to balance searching for our passions with achieving in school, while striving to be not just students, but citizens who volunteer in the community, connect with people, and aim to be our best in everything we do. Thank you.